Okay, now what is your first name and what was the job you held for the longest time in your lifetime?
First name is Robert, but I go by Bob. And job I held the longest was I was 47 years at USC and as a professor and an administrator.
And you taught in the business school, correct?
Yes, yeah, I was in the business school, taught management and organization courses, including leadership and team building and organizational design and courses like that. Uh, More around the design issue and people's relationships with each other and with teams and organizations. Yeah, no, I loved it.
Yeah, it was. I remember visiting you. It was always fun.
Yeah.
So moving on, how what is your age? And if you don't want to say, feel free to say over
Um,
65.
No, I'm 92.
92 years young.
Yep. Still going.
Now what memory brings you the most pride?
Well, there's a lot of them, but primarily family. The totality of family is a larger issue, and it rather than an event, it's a reality. And having my family is obviously my biggest source of pride. And all four of my children have graduate degrees, and I and none of them have any debt.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. You raised some
So
smart kids.
that's probably my biggest source of pride.
Absolutely. Now, next question, a little similar. What's been the greatest joy in your life? And if it's the same thing, that makes sense as well because it's
I
hard to top
think,
family.
yeah, you have to say it's the same thing. I don't think I could separate it out there and make anything else out of it. It's just the experience of being with my family. And the only problem with being up here is I'm away from your dad and Allison. And
Yeah, that's sweet.
so those are the most important things of one's life, I think, Aiden.
Absolutely. I would have to agree. So how would you define living well?
Well, living well involves a number of things, but
Right. Now, next question, how would you define living well?
well, first of all, you have to follow some rules of health, I think, for yourselves, because if you don't follow the rules of health, you're not going to live a very long time. And one of the things that we've talked about more recently, but still a lot of people don't do, is exercise.
Hmm.
And when you're up here next time, I'll show you my shed behind the house because it's a workout room and it's got a treadmill and a recumbent bike,
Yeah, I'd love to
uh,
see it.
yeah, bench, weights, resistance bands, and lots of windows onto the golf course.
Oh, that's great.
So
You
I'm
gotta
out there.
have that. I mean, that's very noble, you know? It's, and I agree. Purpose is very important in life.
Well, I think it's very part of your health. I think one of the things I struggle with now is what I try to do is keep some writing. I am still in touch with some of my vets. Oh, you might be interested in this. A Fulbright scholar from Ukraine, a woman, is studying at USC this year doing research on veterans. And we have met her, talked with her, and will continue to talk with her and help her do the kind of thing we did here in Ukraine for Ukrainian
Oh,
veterans.
that's amazing.
Oh,
That's amazing.
it's exciting, I think, is if we can actually do that. They're quite a ways along, but I think we can still help. It's amazing what they're doing. They're doing very much like we did, only it looks to me like they're not doing it face to face.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah,
very
more
much,
virtual.
yeah, online stuff. It's okay. And it's convenient, and certainly at long distances like this, extremely useful. but it's very different than face to face.
Hmm.
And the one class we had that was all virtual didn't do very well.
Ah, yeah, I imagine.
Unfortunately, it was only one, so uh, during COVID. So, but that's one thing we're going to try to add to her thing. But that creates purpose,
Hmm.
and it's well. And let me add to purpose, meaningful purpose to you. Meaning, it's got to be meaningful to you.
Right.
Can't be just meaningful to somebody else. But yeah, purpose that's meaningful to you. I mean, it's great if you want to volunteer and that sort of thing. If that by itself gives you purpose, but it may not because it really is somebody else's, situation.
Hmm.
But I think if you follow that, meaning that if you don't have it, go find it, start to work on it.
Yeah,
And
figure out your purpose.
well, a lot of that will happen to you as you, continue to go on.
Yes.
Because if you end up doing what you like and it's meaningful to you, then of course that will be your purpose. And purpose has to do with family as well. But that's a concept that I think ought to be in the top 5 or added as the 6th one, possibly.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have to agree. So moving on to the next question, what would you have been able to do? What have you been able to do to achieve living well, or what would you have done differently to do better?
Well, started earlier. Like I went through a period of time in my late 30s and early 40s where I wasn't working out, wasn't doing exercise, and I had been an athlete, throughout college. And I realized I just confronted myself one day and said, "You're going to die," and I believed myself. And so I started running. My brother got me into running, and so we did about 120 10Ks.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing. Wow.
And then
What
I
a
busted
number.
my hip, and so I couldn't do that anymore. So later on, I had to start walking all the time. And
I
that's when I did 9 marathons. I think you
I remember
see.
that. I remember a
That's
couple of
just,
them.
I think I saw you.
I remember
At,
being in Manhattan Beach watching you go down the sidewalk. It's great.
okay, well,
It's very impressive.
that was a 10K. Yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
because I did 43 10Ks in Manhattan Beach.
My,
Uh,
it's
so
very
the only thing
impressive.
I might have done differently was to start earlier on that. Um,
Hmm.
and seriously focus on my well-being and health and purpose and meaningfulness. So, and then the part of the social part of all that is your relationships. You have to be in the relationships that serve you, and you can serve them. But if they're not serving you well, then it's not something you should probably stay in.
Hmm.
So that to me was also key. Um,
No, I think that's very insightful, and I think a lot of people would agree with. They would wish they could tell their younger self to start sooner,
right,
start getting active, start like
right.
building this foundation.
Well, and I think to me, I don't exercise because I want to.
Hmm.
I exercise because I have to. And that's the way I treat it. It's essential. It's not uh, something I have to wait to feel like.
Yeah.
I still have friends my age who say, I ask them if they exercise, and they say, "No, I don't need to."
Yeah.
Or another one says, "Oh, I play golf once a week." And I don't even say anything
Yeah.
to either of those people because to me, it's an essential part of your life. And you don't always, this morning I wasn't that interested in going out to the shed and working out, but I do it because that's what I've committed myself to.
Hmm.
So, and it helps keep me healthy besides just being a good thing to do.
Well, I think that's great. It requires discipline to do something that you don't want to do but know you need to.
Yeah, or commitment. Just say, this is what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
We can call it discipline, we can call it routine, we can call it, but the main thing is just say, no, I'm going to do this. It's what I call intentionality. You got to get intentional.
I like
And
that.
meaning to it, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for that. And then lastly, last question. What advice would you give to someone my age seeking to live a good life?
Well, I think you got it. And I also think, and you're on the right track because education is a big part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Our country is fairly well split on those who are educated and those who aren't. And it doesn't work out so well. And the thing that education does, there's a concept of having a growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset. Fixed mindset says, oh, it's all good. I'm an adult now. I'm fine. Growth mindset says we're always learning. I can learn new things.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
It's actually really interesting you bring this up. This is something we learn about often in my psych classes, a
oh, is
growth
that right?
mindset.
Oh,
Yeah, the
good.
different types of mindsets that can actually physically
Right.
and mentally affect you.
Yeah, absolutely. No, so having one, if you see yourself as a learner rather than a knower, you're continue to be curious and seek out new things to do and think. I learned more in my 80s working with veterans than I had at any other period of my life
Mm-hmm.
with one group of people.
That's
And
fascinating.
so it just shows that you can, it is real. I didn't make it up. It happened to me while I was committed to doing this. And all of a sudden I realized, oh God, I really know a lot more now in different ways. And able to find my own voice better. I think ultimately finding your own voice is one of those other end states, where you speak both from your heart and your head and your experience and
Mm-hmm.
your moral values as well as your intellectual values and service values. One of the things I learned working with the veterans was this focus on service. And when I was in the Army, it wasn't about service, just about getting it over with. We were drafted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now it's all volunteers. And they are really, in fact, I just wrote an article on that. And Stephen, my son Stephen, your uncle, has it now, editing it, because it's going to be published in a journal for veterans that my partner,
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah.
I'd like for you to send me that when it's
Oh, I will.
published.
I will send you. We're in the final editing stages, and let me write myself a note. Yes, a journal for interactive veteran experiences that Eddie, my partner, who was one of my students in 2016 and 2017, he wanted to do what I was doing. So he went down to Texas and got his PhD in community leadership
Oh, wow.
and founded this work with this journal and he likes working with veterans himself. He's a combat veteran, and so he's got probably PTSD. He hides it pretty well. But he was in a battle in Iraq in which they lost 8 people, his friends.
It's terrible.
Then after that, he tries to keep in touch with them because there's been about 3 of them that committed suicide who came home.
Jeez.
So that his purpose and commitment is to help veterans continue to live a better life. And so he and I and Stephen, we formed a team because Stephen worked on our second book and Eddie's my co-author on our second book. And
Mm-hmm.
so I try to keep the team together for my own selfish purposes.
No, that's nice. It's good to keep tabs on everyone.
Oh, yeah, because Stephen added so much to the book as the editor of the book and the producer, and he did all the art design work and everything for it.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's such a big help to you.
Oh God, I didn't even know he could do that in-depth work of editing, because I'd never done much of that.
Mhm.
But he did it, and then Eddie wants to keep the relationship going as well. So the three of us meet every week. We meet tomorrow
That's
afternoon.
great. And maybe that in itself is a good piece of advice, keep your connections close, keep your circle tight.
Yes, if you've got a good team, find a way to keep it.
I love it.
But it's got to be a positive team, one that is invested in higher purpose or something, but it's all that you're committed to. And like Eddie and I talked, well, he went through the program, I helped design the program and taught in it. And so we keep that alive. And that's good. Because he's coming up with new ideas all the time. That's what he does.
That's amazing, Grandpa. Really. All right. Well, I'm going to conclude the interview. Thank you very much. That was
You're welcome very much.
Very insightful.
Well, I'm very happy to do it, Aiden. So when you asked me, I was very happy you asked me. So.
Yeah, thank you. There's no one better to interview. Especially about this topic. Successful aging is what it's called, by the way. Don't know if I mentioned that.
No, I don't think you did, but I kind of figured that's what it would be about.
Yeah, so thank you. It was very nice to talk to you.
Okay, take care of yourself, and we'll see you Sunday.
All right, well, I'll see you Sunday. Bye, Grandpa.
Bye.